name's Peter, YouTube's laid back homesteader. Over the course of this video, we're going to dive into how to raise pasture raised meat birds from egg to plate. We're going to focus on putting the eggs into the incubator, the temperatures, how long it takes for them till they hatch out, the first 3 weeks where they're going to be in a brooder house, which is going to be at home in the garage. Then the transition into this. This is the Joel Salad and Checkin Tractor. We'll get into that later. Why I use steel instead of wood. I've never done this before. Like, I have never even held a bird, let alone raised a bird for meat. I'm going to take it from egg to plate. Actually slaughter, butcher, the whole shebang. If at any point during the course of this video that you feel that you could comment and help me, or have a query, a question, just pause the video, write it in the comments below, and trust me, it's all welcome and needed. It's a learning experience for me. It might be a learning experience for you, so let's get into it. Because we're here, we might as well start with the reason why I made a Joel Salad and Checkin Tractor out of steel instead of wood. Well, the primary reason, I don't own a woodland, and if I did, I didn't own a sawmill to cut a woodland. So the best option for me was to buy metal. It's more durable, and the worms and the microorganisms will not eat it. The other reason is I can make it uniform, with the idea that I am not going to take this Checkin Tractor and move it, transport it about, especially when there's no birds in this position. It's flat pack. There's 2 doors, can be altered. These 2 long sides have all got 2 couplings. I'll show you again. But they all got a single. The widthways have all got doubles, male and female kind of couplings. Universal. I could make this a mile long and still do the exact same job. Now, it is a work in progress. Them pieces of copper isn't going to be the finished corners. I'm going to put in solid 20mm bar, which will make it more rigid. So long story short, it's lighter, it's more durable, it's transportable, and it should last me my lifetime, my career as a hobby farmer. This is the incubator here. I have already started it up. I wanted to see how long it goes. It's a 2-hour cycle. It sits at 37, 38 degrees for the duration of the eggs being formed. 71% humidity. So look, we lift the lid off. There's the workings of it all. The idea is that when you look in there, every 2 hours to do this. 70 fertilized eggs ready to go in. They've been sitting for 2 to 3 days, probably maybe 3 to 4 by the time we get round to it. Wait, no touching, wait. Pointy side at the bottom. Every side has a flat side and a pointy bit. At the top, there's an air pocket. Do you hear this? So whenever the chick starts breathing, he breathes through the air pocket. Yeah. If you turn that upside down, it'll not develop right. Don't know which one. I want to do it that way.
This way. Yes, is this the right way, Dad?
Right, move over, man. Hang on. Not getting in yet. That's 70 eggs in. I think this holds like 112 or something. It costs a similar amount of pounds to the amount of eggs it holds. Water that keeps the humidity right is added in here. See them moving? 3 weeks. We're going to have chicks. Fingers crossed. It's been 12 days from we last looked at the eggs. Literally haven't done anything. Let's candle them and see if there's any fertile. Right, before we bring it out, look, we're on day 12. It's still 71% humidity. I have filled this up like twice, and it's sitting at a steady 37.8, 40, 38 degrees, not 40, we cooked them. Right guys, that's the candle done. We used the wee torch, turned it, and these ones is clearly not fertile because they're clear. They're a lot more transparent. Is the word. We had started off. We originally got 70 eggs. We lost an egg in the loading process, Arlo. Now we've got 68, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you in 10 days. I just plugged the incubator in, and look, it's still set on. It's still fixed on 12 days, so it hasn't reset, which is an added bonus because I would have had to write that down, so it could end up thinking eggs were going to be born 3 days later than they were, and the whole thing going mad. Right, guys, today was the day where I was going to get this all prepped. The laid-back approach. How many eggs has hatched?
3.
3.
Wait, I just saw one open.
Minimum effort, maximum result. That's the motto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got a big A and a sore spot. We'll put them back in, and then I will try to get organised because now the meter really is running. Wow.
Oh, wow. When did they start to hatch?
They were hatching this morning. I went out to check, and look, there's one there, half out.
Can I hold one?
Look, it's hatching. Look at the wee eggs. Look, there's baby chicks breaking through
Hey, I
them.
love this one. I wasn't sure one. Oh, boss.
Not 100% sure this is the right thing to do, but please let me know in the comments what you think. I'm wetting it with the idea of compressing it, compaction, and then I'm going to put the brooders, the heaters onto it and get the stage set because they've hatched this morning on day 19 of 21. Tomorrow on day 20 they'll be going into this as chicks, as chunky chicks. I bought 2 of them. Each holds 30 birds. It'll heat. I took the other one out of the box the other day to see what it looked like. Just right, guys. The incubator is kid-proof. The brooders, the heat pads are. I'm hoping they're going to heat these tiles, which will in turn hold the heat for the bird. Now, I have run the cable out and out through here. Just that'll do for now. Tomorrow morning I'll put the water in, or tonight I'll actually put the water in, get it up to room temperature on another pad. I'm telling you, don't belong to losing up a bit of space whenever you start doing this. We still have a few that isn't hatched. Some of them that has begun to hatch, like this one. So we're going to take the ones that saw the down and saw fluffy and put them out in the brooder box. Oh, Mum wants to see. Show him. There's. What do you call this by, Mum? Nugget. He's the one that got injured. What happened to him? He's got a big eye. Right, let's go out and get rid of some of these. Right, so we just put them in here where there's food and heat. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, guys, these 2 are just recently born. See how they're still wet? So we're going to keep them in there. They'll also hopefully start to be chirping and encourage the other ones to hatch. Look, these guys are eating already. How cool is that? 2 heaters, 2 drinkers, and a feeder. They'll find their way. What's this?
Yeah.
This is Nugget, googly eye. Should call him Google. That'd be a cool name for him, wouldn't it? He's already been called Nugget. This is a fit bird. Look at the difference in the size, look. Something different about these guys. Look at the crop. That's full of food. He's stuffing himself. Whereas Nugget, a lot less. And that's because I've been feeding him. He's still cute though, isn't he?
Them two were born at the same, within 2 days of each other. Look at the size difference, look.
See where he's getting packed on the wing? Where's he going?
Nanny.
Right guys, there's been a change of plan. Nugget is moving to here. He didn't go too far, did he? Fresh water, hope he doesn't stick his head in too long, and food. Right guys, we're in week 3. We're going to be moving the birds. Before we do so, let's go through a few numbers just to have it all up to speed. 8 were non-fertile, 8 didn't hatch. 1 got stuck in the egg, 1 got trampled on day 3. On day 4, I first refilled this for the first time. It wasn't 3.8 kilos like a previous video I mentioned, it was 3.2 kilos of starter feed. They've used a bag of starter feed. They're now on farmyard laying pallets. They're just bigger. One of them died on day 6 because he was too small. On day 7 I started removing the food, so we were 14 to 16 hours with food, 8 to 10 hours without food. So on day 10 we're eating 1.3 kilograms of food a day. Every day after that, as the chicks were growing, it was 100 grams or 0.1 kilograms, so it was 3.1 or 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, right up to day 20 where I weighed it, it was 2.2 kilograms. The plan was to move them at week 3. We're now 3.5 weeks in. The reason, this bad boy.
Hello.
Not you. These. They're poultry transportation kits. And if you're going to build them, do it carefully. Isn't that right? I had these on order because you can just open them and close them. They're stackable, so they all sit into each other. And there's a big hatch, so you can throw them in there, close it up. I want to talk about the heat pads. I buried the cable under the wood chip and brought it over. It was sitting on tiles. By day 4, there was a really strong smell of chicken poop, and what I had to do was take the tiles out, and I actually just threw them in the bin because they were disgusting. Because we're in a heated garage, on day 9 I turned off the heating elements and regret not disturbing the frame to take out them things, because that there is the exact same reason why I removed the 2 tiles. So for a future reference, if you're going to do it, just put it on wood chip, it'll be fine. Keep the cables hanging above and then they can be removed easily. This is Nugget hanging in there, staying strong, and this is one of the smaller birds. Look at the difference in their feet size, look. He's staying in the box, he's going to Nanny's house after the weekend. Sorry about the noise, the guys are working next door, but right, let's put it in here, Ivor. You get to put the last one in.
I feel meat.
Go. You feel the chicken dinners, do you?
Yeah, I feel the meat. The meat's actually under
Yeah,
the
big
belly.
breast, that's their breast, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the breast.
Now you can see the reason for me making this out of metal instead of wood. It can be taken down just by pulling 4 pins apart. The doors can be dismantled, and all the wee bits of metal on the top is all held together with 6mm bolts. We're now moving the chicken tractor into its start position, awaiting the arrival of the birds. Rebuilding it is easy. 4 corner pins and 8 bolts with locking nuts instead of the 6 I mentioned earlier. Securing the 2 doors and adding 3 pieces of 2-inch water pipe onto the roof that will give support to the tarpaulin 3 meters by 4 meters. So now we're moving the chunky chicks onto pasture. The black thing you can see is a header tank. It's holding water for the birds to drink via an 8-nipple drinker system that is hanging from a chain from the back door of the chicken tractor. Right guys, I've either miscounted or we don't have as many as I originally thought. but higher than ever. That's what we have, and we're just getting started, so it'll do the job. Right guys, another week has passed. Let's give you an update on where we are. I'll actually just show you how I do this while I'm giving you the update. So we put out 4 kilograms of feed, 2 spots. The idea is to move this Checkin Tractor 2/3 of the move. This is my new axle. This is a handle for it, so that I don't have to touch chicken poop. Very important. So I lift it up, put it into the box section on both sides. You can see them moving, they know what's happening. Wee bunch. That's pretty much it. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get like a T-bar. The upper part's going to pivot. This bit will spike into the ground. This bit will go in here. And I'll use leverage to lift this. Take the lifting out of it. Because you could strain it back, lifting, twisting, trying to do multiple things. Here's one of the nipples from the nipple drinker that I made up. It touches this and water comes out. The problem I had was that the birds were attacking it that viciously that this happened. Look, it popped up inside the pipe and the water ran out. I have ordered drinkers, something that you would give to lambs, calves, cattle. Then I'll set up a bulk tank, but more about that later. This water system is actually really simple, and you just carry the water up and drop it in. You can see here, you see the impact we're having on the manure load we're dropping. All the dead spots, I think that's where the food has been concentrated. Obviously, more impact, but it's all good because they're eating it up. Yesterday evening, I moved them 1/3 with 2 kilograms of food. This morning, I moved them 2/3, which is a hole. So this section is dirty. The back end, the back third is dirty. It gives them every opportunity to pick up any loose grains. That's why the grass is being impacted so much. I'm trying to just use the food. So they're eating 6 kilograms of food a day or thereabouts. I'm not 100% sure if that's right or wrong, but they're not wanting food. That's what matters. We're just going to have to gauge it, how many 25 kg bags it takes to raise 39 birds. I did think it was 49. It's actually funny for why. Whenever I was getting the eggs to put in the incubator, I said to the guy, how many eggs you giving me? He said 70. That's what I based this on. When in reality, if you go back and check, because I've been thinking about it, them trays hold 30 eggs. He gave me 2 trays. So whenever I was feeding these birds all along and I'm monitoring their daily 100 grams a day, I was like, why are they eating so little? It turns out there's not as many. Checkin Tractor's holding up, seems to be doing a good job. I've been checking around the edges, no lines of foxes or anything trying to get in. I did leave the wheels up on the back of the Checkin Tractor for a day. I came back and there was 2 birds out, and there was actually a hawk flying over whenever I pulled into the yard, and he was making noise. He could have been the guy that got nugget, because that's what Nanny reckons anyway. Right, see you at the next update. It's been 9 weeks from the birds hatched. Today we're going to process them. I have to say, the last 3 days have been dodgy. We lost 5 birds in 48 hours. Thankfully, they've settled down. Today's the day. The noise you hear in the background is from the generator. It's powering the scalder, DIY scalder, which is heating up lovely. Inside these 3 black bins is ice. Ice, ice, baby. Din 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 din. I made that ice at home over the course of a week with a small ice maker that you can fit in your lunchbox. I ordered 3 of these tables, 2 of which I'm using here. I have 1 at the house because that's where I'm going to finish the birds. I have bought chopping boards. How I ended up with a pair of tongs this morning, I do not know. I found a thermostat that I had lost. I have 2 boning knives and a paring knife. All in red for working with raw meat. This just got sandwiched in there. That'll be for the vegetable section at a later stage. Getting into the business end, this is the kill station. 4 traffic cones turned upside down with the bottoms cut out. Now I ended up cutting it at 115 mil or 4.5 inches. When one of the birds died the other day, I tested the cone by putting the bird in, and it seemed to be a wee bit, the bird was sitting down a wee bit further than I would personally have liked. So what I did, I came up with this idea. It's just a simple noose, or a knot. I'll fold it through it and make a hang out of it like that. The idea is to drop the bird inside the cone, and then I can adjust the height of the bird. So the order for me to process these birds, I'm going to put 1 bird at a time into each of the cones behind me. I'm going to give it a minute, and then I'm going to go back with the knife and I'm going to cut their main artery just below the cheekbone, and it'll leave them that they'll go to sleep and they'll bleed out. All the blood is going to travel down this guttering into the bucket where it will be transferred to the compost heap. Once they've stopped twitching, we'll transfer them into the scalder where they'll go for about 60 seconds. It all depends on how hot this gets. We'll take them out of this and then we'll transfer them into this bad boy. This is the chicken plucker. This is the key part for me being able to process so many birds by myself. After the birds have been scalded, to be dropped into this. There's a motor built into this section here which drives a bottom plate. It rotates. This is stationary. And because this is happening, the birds tumble. They'll tumble actually in the opposite direction. You add water, helps the feathers come off quicker, and they come out through the chute. And then it's just a matter like 60 seconds for 6 birds, hit the off button. Bob's your uncle. So the birds are going to arrive in crates on the trailer. They're going to be put in these cones and dispatched. Then they're going to the scalder to get their feathers ready for plucking in the plucker defeathering yoke, and then they'll go from that to this table or that table where they're going to be gutted and processed with these tools. As soon as the carcass is ready, it'll go into the ice bath to get the temperature down. It has to be down to, I think, 3 degrees within 4 hours. So this is the Checkin Tractor that I made out of steel instead of wood. Really, really handy. I'm happy with it. Now wait till you see another added benefit that I've had over the wood version. If I just pull this off, well, you could do it with steel too. This is going to be easy access to catch the birds. And the bird with the deformed foot actually made the duration. He's still hobbling about. He's not as heavy as the others, but he's not that far away. He's definitely better than the dead ones. There he is. There's the boy with a bad foot. First one in. Last one, guys. That is a bit of a, don't know how to go about it, but we got it done anyway. Let's get these guys to their final destination. The first attempt at butchering these chickens, the only thing that was positive was the fact that I got to make more content. These Bosches, there's two of them. One has a heating element, the other one, don't really know why I put it in, but it's there anyway. As the water level rose, it leaked. Another thing I had to do was adjust the thermostat. It wasn't set high enough. That set me back another hour and a half. Whenever I came up, the plumbers had arrived to fix the leak and had tipped the water out of it. Back to square one. After another hour or two, I called it a day. The birds have been in a crate for upwards of 8 hours. 7 hours in a crate, 8 hours for me. I called it, I took them back. It's now 4 days later, 5 days later, it's almost a week later. We're going to butcher the birds. They're 10 weeks old, give or take a few days. This is the new setup. A gas cylinder powering this yoke. Whenever I went home, the first thing I did was ordered this. It's already sitting at 35 degrees within about, call it 30 minutes. Now because we're using an off-grid water system, the water pressure isn't great and the water quality isn't great. So prior to my first attempt at butchering chickens, I emptied the water storage, drained the system and then added new water. Right, if we get the water coming out the hose, then it'll take the air out of the system. So we'll take this off too. 38 degrees and the length of time it took to do that. Another thing that I had to do, because this is the second attempt, was make up by 15 pounds worth of ice. It's nowhere near as much as what I had. What I had was an ice maker that I purchased to make ice at home. Every time you walk past, throw a wee bit in the freezer, take it out, put it in the big bag, then say take it from the big bag, the chest freezer that I had to buy, into the bin and bring it up to here. All I have in here now is water. There's 12 bags of ice in there. I just checked this one. It is 1/3 full of water. I can empty it out at a later stage. Let's just get this cooler. The cooler it is, the less it'll melt. Let's get some birds. Right. So, this is the plan. Put this in, and it should herd the birds back that way. Because, well, maybe not, because they're bigger than what I was thinking. Another thing I want to show you, look at this here. That's a better way of doing it. Next spring, with the next batch of birds, I'll bring this end down lower, give them a bit more protection. But that was the original plan, to keep it open both sides so that we can access it either end. And now just 3 of these clips removed to expose the bird. And hopefully I'm going to use that board to crowd them into one corner, thus making my life easier. I don't know what that looked like to you guys, but it definitely felt a lot handier for me. Definitely with that board. Ratio of water to bleach 50:1, good for sanitization. This is ditch soap. I'm going to add this into the chicken plucker. It'll help the oils, it'll help the water penetrate past the waterproofing layer of the bird. 54.3. We're there, boys. Let's do it. Right guys, go easy on me. We're in uncharted waters here. So there might be a few mistakes done. I'm not going to show the process of me slaughtering birds. If you want to learn that for yourself, your best bet, like me, like I did, is to go on to Joel Solid and Homesteaders of America. It shows him butchering a bird. There's actually a few other guys, but Joel has been doing it for 3 or 4 decades. He knows what he's talking about. So my advice to you, if you want to butcher a bird, go see that channel. This is all new, like I say. Let's do it. Wish me luck. This should relax the bird. Yeah. That's not relaxing much, is it? So, I put the bird in and I adjust this accordingly. There you go, boy. The ropes aren't really doing anything. Guys, it's a humbling experience. Right, I'm not going to show this bit. This is where I cut the jugular. Actually, I am going to show it, but I'm going to do it from a distance. Wish me luck. That could have went a wee bit quicker. They could have passed a wee bit faster. They scald them. Actually, before I do that, I need to start the generator because after they come out of the scalder, they get into the plucker. I've no timer, but I will just keep an eye on them, see how they go. Checking their skin. Skin's starting to come off. Nearly there. I've never done this before. I've only seen this on YouTube, like you. The valve for first attempt. I'm not really a fan of this, but I'm sort of in too deep now. I just have to keep going. I'm really missing the ability to have water on a gun. If I keep trying to video what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up 3-hour video. What I'm going to do is put you on a time lapse back behind the thing, and I'm just going to work. Any questions, let me know. Right guys, all the birds are butchered. We're back at my house. This is where we're going to dress them, get them ready for the freezer. This pot here, I spotted whenever I was doing the shopping, buying the chopping boards and boning knives, with the idea, chicken stock. This is the ice maker I was talking about. This is the chicken. Now that I'm working at a better height, I can see the better. Pressure's off, guys. I'm just going to tidy up, check the insides, make sure the carcass is nice and clean. The water is actually still pretty clean. A few wee bits, but nothing really to worry about. I'm going to take the necks off. I'm going to let them dry for a bit, and then they're going into the freezer. That's the plan. We'll do one, and then that'll do us. That's one of whatever many I have. I am going to continue doing exactly what you just seen, and then I'll come back to you with the final figures. Right guys, this is necks, this is birds. I was thinking that the amount of birds I have was going to fill this chest freezer. Oh boy, was I wrong. Maybe they would have if they hadn't all died on me. 29 birds. This one was 2.3 kilograms. This one's 2.2. This one was 1.1. This one was the runt of the litter. This may have very well been the one with the bad foot. 29 necks. Not bringing them out, you've already seen them. But that's it. I'm getting wet. Let's put this all back. The 29 birds made it from egg to plate. One was dispatched, and whenever I was opening the carcass up, there was fluid built up inside it, and I didn't know what it was. I discarded it. I later looked into it, and I read that it potentially was the bird starting to organ failure. Not 100% sure. The meat was supposedly still good, but it didn't look right to me, and it wasn't worth the hassle, so I got rid of it. There was 2 more birds that made it to the slaughter day, but I didn't go ahead and butcher them because their crops was massive. They weren't mobile at all. They were just sitting there. They were just waiting to die. I give them to the fox as a peace offering, and the next morning they were both dead, so they ended up going into the compost pile. So spreading the care out across what birds made it to the plate: £5 in food, $6.20 in daily maintenance care, £3 processing and butchering. Total for each bird, $14.20. It didn't include the necks, which are also in the freezer, and it didn't include the feet, which were in the compost bin. It was a great experience, and that sums it up. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I didn't really enjoy making the video because it was over 16 weeks, and I had to keep going back and forward and mixing it up and looking at it to remember what stage it was at. Not easy. Guys, thanks for watching. See you in the field. Check out the YouTube channel. What do you call the YouTube channel?
Yep, check out the YouTube channel.
What do you call the YouTube channel?
Homesteader.
You love that channel, don't you?
I don't.
He said he's going to delete it. Guys, thanks for watching. See you in the field.